Hey there, I'm Dr. Rich Madow, and welcome once again to the next episode of the Dental Practice Fixers podcast. I'm so glad you're here with me. I'm so excited for our podcast today. It's again a great dental lesson learned from outside of the dental practice, and then we're going to tie that directly into our mystery shopper call. So, what could be more fun than that? Well, I'll tell you one thing that could possibly be more fun than that is that's getting tips from me in your inbox every now and then. So join our email list. I'll hit you up every now and then. I won't bombard you or never sell your name or anything like that, so you don't have to worry. But give you some great tips on dental practice, wisdom, and management, and things to do with the entire team, as well as turn you into some free webinars and great product recommendations and other cool things like that. So just go to madow.com/tips, madow.com/tips. And hey, if you don't like it, you can just unsubscribe, but that never happens. So don't worry about it. Go ahead, matter.com/tips. You'll get to see me every few days instead of just every week or two. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I was having lunch in one of our local Baltimore dining spots. A lot of times I go out to lunch and I take my laptop and I sit there and write these tip-laden emails or write a new podcast or, a number of things. So I guess I'm kind of like a regular at some of the local lunch spots, and some of the people who work there know me. Okay, so it's this place is kind of like I describe it as like a healthy Chipotle. Like, you get a little tray and you slide down the aisle and you take this and that, but you build a salad or a sweet potato or rice bowl or something like that. It's a really cool place. And I get to the end and they say, "Would you like something to drink?" And I said, "Yes, I'd like coffee, please." I guess it was a cold day. I never asked for coffee here before, even though I've been there a number of times. So chilly day, and I love coffee. I said, "You'd like coffee?" And they said, I love this. The guy behind the cash register said, "We don't serve coffee here, but a lot of people ask for that." I just found that to be kind of stunning. It's like, what? Let's listen to that line again. "We don't serve coffee here, but a lot of people ask for that." It's like if there ever was a duh moment, it's this. They're trying to serve their customers. These fast casual restaurants are extremely competitive. Some of them are there forever, and some of them come and go. Boom. It's like before you even get a chance to see the sign, they're gone. And I think one of the reasons is especially, they're ignoring an incredibly easy message, and that is give the people what they want. I mean, it's not like I'm asking for sushi and it's not a sushi place. I'm asking for coffee. Everybody serves coffee. If nobody ever asks for it, that'll be one thing. But they told me that a lot of people ask for coffee, but they don't have it. Duh. I mean, come on. Buy a commercial coffee maker for a few $100, or call a coffee service. There are these restaurant-based commercial coffee services. They can have something set up in an hour. And how much profit is it to sell a little cup of coffee that probably cost them 10 cents and they sell for $3? I mean, come on, give the people what they want. It couldn't be any easier. This person, and then they might have been the manager. I don't know who they were, but they certainly could have told the manager. They're saying that people constantly ask for coffee. What did I do? I asked for a free cup of ice water instead. They just lost a hugely profitable item, and apparently it happens all the time. So always be listening. Always be thinking about, what do people want? What could I do to serve my people better? When my dental practice was really young, I had a policy, and that was no cleanings on the first visit. The first article I ever had published actually was about how I didn't give cleanings on I was totally on my high horse. Like, I don't give cleanings on the first visit. It's malpractice. How can you possibly do a cleaning or provide any kind of periodontal therapy before we do an exam? So it's always doctor only. If all new patients come in through my schedule, examination only, then we reschedule for either a prophy or perio treatment or whatever it is. And, clinically, it made sense. I know that in my heart of dental hearts, it's the ideal thing to do, maybe the best thing to do. But I cannot tell you how many times I walk by the front desk, and even though my front desk team were incredibly skilled, when people said they wanted a cleaning on their first visit and we told them no, no matter how much we tried to reason with them or tell them how it's the best treatment, it only happens this once, whatever, they didn't appoint. We were not giving the people what they wanted. So watching hundreds of new patients walk out and never return, I finally loosened up and I embraced my new philosophy, which was do the best clinical job I possibly can. But if I'm losing new patients because of something, it's not good. I've got to give the people what they want. So we switched. We started scheduling our new patients in with hygiene. And if the patient needed a regular prophy after I did the exam, great. If they needed periotherapy, we would explain that to them. And you know what? I found that not only were we not losing new patients, but our compliance was much better. I think it was just a much more relaxed visit for the patients. Um, Again, I never argue clinical points with you on my podcast. It's more about management, patient experience. I'll argue that stuff with you all day long, but clinical, no. That's up to you. And I will say that if you really want to get technical, yes, scheduling new patients with doctor only and never doing any kind of prophy or periotherapy on the first visit in an ideal world, that could be the best way to do it. But we don't live in an ideal world. We live in a world when we do so many things to get referrals and get reviews and maybe some marketing and all those things. When our phone rings, we better make sure that we don't lose that potential new patient because we put a lot of time and energy and maybe even possibly money into getting that phone to ring. If a potential new patient likes your office for some reason and they call and you don't appoint them, you just did them a disservice. You will never have the chance to wow them and to get them healthy. And you did a disservice to your bottom line as well. So sometimes you got to bend a little bit and give the people what they want. If you hear yourself saying things like, we don't have Saturday hours, we don't take that insurance, we don't do cleanings on the first visit. Now, I'm not saying that you should work on Saturdays if you don't want to. I'm not saying that you should take insurance plans that you don't want to take. But what I'm saying is instead of saying no, 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 let's have a great answer prepared. If somebody calls and says, I'd like to come in on a Saturday, instead of saying we don't have Saturday hours, maybe say, would evenings be convenient for you? If somebody says, do you take my horrible, crappy, lousy PPO? Instead of saying no, let them know that you're an unrestricted provider and you can see patients that have all different types of insurance. Now, you're not going to lie to them and say you're in network. And I hate it when my colleagues in the dental coaching, management, consulting field tell you to lie to your patients. That drives me crazy. I know there's somebody out there training offices to say, if somebody calls and says, do you take my PPO? And you don't take it, they say, oh, we love all insurances. Come on in. Well, that's kind of an insinuated lie. So don't lie to a patient. It's a horrible way to start a relationship. But let them know that even though you're not in network, you're an unrestricted provider, they can absolutely come to you. And as a matter of fact, many people without insurance come to you and let them know why, about the superior experience you provide and how the payment will work. Be totally honest, but my point is don't just say no. Do you have payment plans? No. Do you do orthodontics? No. Do you offer different treatment options? No. Some of these things happen live. Like you're talking to a patient about treatment and you say, this is what we can do, and you act like they have no option. Well, I got news for you. There's always an option. One option is to do nothing. Dentistry, in most cases, is about life or death. And I find it valuable sometimes to let the patient know the one option is to do nothing. Of course, you have to frame it correctly and say, look, one option is to do nothing. But I don't feel that's a good option because if you do that, this decay in bacteria is just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not going to stop growing. And eventually the tooth could need a root canal. It could crumble. It could break. You could wind up losing the tooth. So while that is an option, it's not one I would recommend. Let's get this taken care of now. And then you give the reasons, but always offer options. When you call as a new patient and somebody says, we can't see a new patient for 3 months, that's a horrible option for a potential new patient. That's kind of like saying everybody asks us for coffee, but we don't have it. Well, people are banging on your door and saying, we want to be a patient in your practice, and you say you can't come in for 3 months. That's pretty much the same as this fast, casual, healthy restaurant not having a coffee maker. It's just a never ending chorus in so many practices that sounds like we can't, we won't. So if you want your practice to grow, change your tune. We can, we do, we will. And it doesn't always mean you have to change the way you do things. It just means you have to think about the way to phrase the option to make it good for the patient. It's so, so, so important. And because of that, I based my mystery shopper calls on this today. I'm calling practices now. I asked my team to get me a bunch of numbers of practices where on their website it says they do some form of orthodontics. Typically, clear aligners, right? So that's going to be the call. Now, I find that a lot of practices on their website, they say Invisalign, or when you call, they say, we do Invisalign. Look, I know Invisalign's probably the most popular brand of clear aligners. I think it's actually become kind of a Kleenex, if you know what I mean. It's like Kleenex, you just use the term Kleenex for all different brands of tissues. It's a brand name, but it's become ubiquitous for something that you blow your nose into. It's a Kleenex. I'm trying to think of another, like Q-tip. It's a cotton swab, but we all call them Q-tips. Or some people still say, can you Xerox this for me? When meanwhile, that's a name brand. So I think Invisalign has become one of those things where we say, when we're talking to one another as colleagues, we'll say Invisalign, but we really mean clear aligners. And I think that's a shame for a few reasons. But one is my favorite brand of clear aligners is not Invisalign. I love Simply Clear by OrthoBrain. OrthoBrain's a younger company than Invisalign. They are growing really fast. Their retainers is kind of a lay term that I used. Their aligners are just as good, if not better, than Invisalign. I mean, as we say, the plastic is the plastic, but their cases are designed by US-based orthodontists, and their customer support is amazing because you can contact them at any time and get support on any individual case and case planning from a US-based orthodontist, all included in the fee for the aligners. And that fee is typically much lower than Invisalign. So I love them so much. I asked them if we could do a little website for them. It's madow.com/ortho. Just go to madow.com/ortho, madow.com/ortho, and you can learn more about Simply Clear aligners by OrthoBrain. So this is what I based my calls on today. Again, I asked my team to get me a bunch of phone numbers of dental practices where on their website it says they do clear aligners. A lot of them said Invisalign, some said other brands, but they all do some form of clear aligners. And then I called and said something like, do you do orthodontics or do you do braces? Let's see how these practices answered. All right, ready. Let's go over here to Command Central and crank up call number one.
Thank you for calling Dentistry. This is Michelle speaking.
Do you do braces there?
I'm sorry?
Do you do braces there? Like
Yes, we do.
tooth straightening? You do? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have different kinds or just like the metal braces?
Correct. So we have just regular braces, and then we have we also do clear aligners.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, bye. You got to be kidding me. Why does she think I'm calling? If I'm calling to say, do you do braces? I'd say there's a 99.9% chance either me or someone in my family or someone I'm calling for is interested in that service, right? So she says, yes, we do braces, we do clear aligners. Great. She made no attempt to say, why don't you come in so we can do an examination and see which is best for you? I mean, zero. No enthusiasm, no attempt to make the appointment. That was such a wicked failure. Just bad. I hope the next one gets a little better. Let's see.
Dental care, I'm help you.
Yeah, do you do braces there, or do you like do tooth straightening of any kind?
Let me see. So we mostly do more like we do night guards mostly,
Mm-hmm.
and then like fillings, and then things like implants, crowns. But for braces, not really. We don't do braces here.
Okay, what are night guards? What do you mean by that?
So night guards is mostly just to help with like clenching, grinding, and we also do like Essex retainers. But for like actual Invisalign and braces, we don't do that here.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Of course, anytime.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
You got to be kidding me. I love how you get a new aligner every 8 weeks. That must be pretty slow going on their treatment. But I mean, her answers weren't great. She kind of bobbled around to different facts, but whatever. She started saying, it depends if you're a candidate. We have to see if you're a candidate for that treatment. What what an opening for her to say, why don't you come on in so we can see if you're a candidate for our clear aligners? I'm asking about braces. She has an alternative, which is in many ways better. And then she said, you have to see if you're a candidate for it, but never gave me the opportunity to see if I was a candidate. Horrible at best. Come on, someone's got to do better. Please, I know someone will. I just know it. Let's try another one.
Ministry of.
Hi, do you do braces in there, like tooth straightening of any kind?
We only do Invisalign. We do not do braces, no.
Oh, what does that mean?
Invisalign are the clear
Yeah.
retainers.
A clear retainer. Okay, so do I need to be on retainer to get those?
I'm sorry?
Like, do I have to pay like on retainer to get those? I'm not sure what that means, the retainers.
So the Invisalign treatment is an orthodontic treatment. It's instead of it being the metal brackets, it's a plastic retainer that we use, and that will apply pressure to your teeth. And we also use attachments, which are that go on top of your teeth. The way it kind of works is that with the attachment along with the plastic retainer on top of it, it almost acts like as a pressure point on the tooth, and it shifts it. So it would be $5,500 for the Invisalign, but the braces we do not do in office. That's something that you would have to go to an orthodontist for.
I see. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any other questions that I can answer for you?
No, you answered everything very thoroughly. Thank you.
Of course, not a problem.
Thank you. Yes,
Bye-bye.
there's another question. My question is, why did you offer me an appointment? This was a weird call. It sounded like she was in a wind tunnel at the beginning, like, I don't know what was going on there. And she was very lethargic. And then it's all of a sudden like somebody pushed an on button and she jumped to attention and started way over explaining with attachments and pressure points. Like, what do you even, why do you need to go into that kind of crazy detail? But she did say that, they offer these aligners. She didn't get everything completely clinically correct, but who cares? She did say they offer aligners. Again, no, no, no attempt to get me in. Wow, this is getting really discouraging. Let's do one more. I know this one's going to be the winner. I just know it. I can tell. I can tell ahead of time. Let's do it.
Thank you for calling Dental. This is May. How can I help you?
But do you do braces there, or like tooth straightening?
No, we do Invisalign. We don't do braces here, but we do refer out to specialists.
Oh, what's Invisalign?
Invisalign is a type of treatment to straighten teeth for people that are candidates. It just trays every 6 or 8 weeks you change trays instead of having braces, but do have to see if you're a good candidate for that.
So you just get you just get new trays like every 8 weeks?
Mhm.
Got it. Okay, but does that straighten teeth like braces?
It does. It depends if you're a candidate for that type of treatment.
I see. Okay, well, thank you so much.
No problem, sir. You have a great day.
Oh, you too. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, well, first of all, I didn't ask about implants and crowns and root canals. That was going way off topic. So, okay, something's wrong here because on their website, they have this huge section and they use the brand name Invisalign about how they do Invisalign. And they have some smiling pictures and some like after pictures of people that have had aligner therapy. So either their website's way out of date and they don't do it anymore and they forgot to take that section off. Or maybe this was like a generic part of a website that they purchased, but never told the website company that they don't do this and to please remove it from the website. Or she doesn't know what she's talking about. I don't know which is the case, but something's wrong here and I don't like it. So maybe she was right on offering me the appointment. Maybe she didn't know what was going on in the practice. But this kind of drives a point home too. Look at your website. If there's something on your website that you don't do, get rid of it. And there's someone answering your phone that doesn't know what you do. They need a little bit more training. That was a weird call. I think we'll just end on that one. But remember, when you say no to a patient on the phone, it's pretty much hang up, click, never hear from them again. So this is a great example. Many of these practices didn't do traditional braces, but they did clear aligners. So if I call and say, do you do braces? Instead of saying no, or instead of giving a bad description and not offering an appointment, say, we don't do traditional braces. We do something that's even better. They're clear aligners, and in most cases, they can do a great job straightening your teeth. And people don't even see them or know you're wearing them. They're so much better than braces in so many ways. Why don't you come on in to see if you're a candidate? Let's do a free consultation. Come on, be enthusiastic, be positive. I am positively enthusiastic that you can do better than that. So remember, if there's something in your practice that's like the coffee machine that didn't exist at the beginning of this podcast, change it. You can. You do. You will. I'm Dr. Richard Madow. Thanks so much for being with me on the Dental Practice Fixers podcast. And I'll see you next time. Bye.